So hi, Jade. I'd like to welcome Jade Moore to this interview this afternoon. So thank you for joining me, Jade.
Well, thank you for having me.
Jade, you did the 7 week Awaken Your Voice program with me, and you've actually been through it twice. True. So thank you so much for being a part of that. And I thought it might be a great opportunity for us to talk a little bit about your experience with that and how you felt going into it versus what happened, coming out the other end. And really, having been through it twice, perhaps you could share with people, why that happened and what this course meant for you. So I know we met originally at a singing festival where I was speaking, and you approached me then, and you were feeling quite stirred, emotionally. I remember, and I, you know something was obviously awakening for you, like this desire to come out and sing. So do you want to share a little bit about that journey of how we first met and what led you to join the course?
Yeah, sure thing. Again, thank you for having me. I'm more than happy to share my journey and the journey it has been. I think you saying that I was, a little bit emotional is being kind to me that day. I was very emotional that day. So as Danielle said, we did meet at a singing conference, and I went to that singing conference looking for a singing teacher. I hadn't sung for a really long time. I felt like I had a bit of a blockage, and I found this singing conference, and I thought, I'll go and find someone to help me sing because that's all I need. I just need to sing. And it was so much more than that. And I really felt connected to Danielle in her class that day. And so I do remember approaching you and very emotional, saying, I think I want to move forward. And that's when she introduced me to Awaken Your Voice. And I just started connecting in a space with other people and Danielle around what this could mean for me. And what I've learned is it wasn't about singing at all. So yeah, it started with the first 7 week course, which was phenomenal. I learned so much. We might be here for hours if I talk about what I learned in that 7 week course, but I knew at the end of that 7 week course that I wasn't done and I wanted to keep going. So I did. I just listened to my body and listened to what I needed during that time. We, of course, went into lockdown during that time, so it kept me feeling very full, connecting once a week. But yeah, I think the biggest realization is that there wasn't anything wrong with my voice. There wasn't anything wrong with my throat, which I thought it was. It was all emotional. And the course has allowed me to break down those emotions and really recognize where the blockage was. And now I can confidently say that I'm singing again. So I am in singing lessons now and continuing the work through music. Yeah, brave enough to say I am a singer again because of the work that I've done with you and Awaken Your Voice. So
Fantastic.
yeah, it was a big journey.
Great. And a performer. You've been doing some performing at some of my
I
events as well, which is great.
I know, who knew? Yeah, 2 years ago, if you said I'd been performing online, I would have laughed in your face and run away probably, but I haven't run away, and I really look forward to it now. And I think ready for the next step. Let's get us back in person. Let's get us back on stage. I'd love to sing in person again and start that next stage. So yeah, in front of real people, singing in front of real people. Who knew?
Yeah, and having that ease and confidence just to be able to express yourself in whatever way. And for you, it was originally singing. There was some desire in you to express your voice that way. And if you could speak a little bit more to that, like you said that there were blockages that you discovered along the way, and that in the end you said it turned out to be more, than singing. And if you could just speak to that and share some of the things that you realized, about yourself or what you experienced.
Yeah, so I grew up as a musician. I played trumpet full time actually at school and after school, and I did a bit of singing at school, and so I was surrounded by music and new music and felt like a musician. And then that stopped, and that confidence to sing, I do this quite a lot when I'm talking about this. I felt like someone was actually grabbing onto my throat. And to even open my mouth and sing, it was very emotional, and the tears would come and I just couldn't get it out. And I was really judging what was coming out of my throat, and the idea of singing in front of people, just, oh goodness, I'd hide under the desk and not want to come out. And so I think the work that we did, especially in the first course, it was really tapping into some of the negative times I'd had as a musician early in my life, and that negativity that surrounded me as a musician, especially in school. And leaving school, and like, it just took me right back when we did a lot of that deep work around, you know, the people that said those negative things to me, that really affected me, and it was still with me 20 years later. So breaking down that barrier, and thinking, why am I worried about what some kid at a school 3 suburbs away yelled out to me 20 years ago? It's affecting my life now. So kind of smashing that, I think, was really important to me, and not to worry about that negativity anymore. It was a really big moment for me to be able to sing again.
Wow,
and
that's huge.
Yeah.
And I guess the thing that people are aware of is that, you know, things that have happened in our past do continue to affect us today. But the thing is that what we need to do is to go out and find out exactly what they are, because unless we have awareness of those moments in time that shut us down, that closed our throat, that stopped us showing up and expressing ourselves in the way we wanted to, unless we go back to those moments or memories or, you know, past experiences, traumas, all those sorts of things, and identify them, then we can't really release them. And how did you find that experience, like just even going back to those memories and having that chance to let go of them once and for all?
Oh, it was things I hadn't thought about for years, and I had no idea they were absolutely clouding everything. And, you know, I'm pretty confident. I do a lot of public speaking for a living, and I'm on stage quite a bit for my job, not singing, but yeah, it's a lot of public speaking. So to question that confidence, go, I'm actually pretty confident, and to go back to those times and to actually, these are really affecting that, even not only my musicality and what I'm doing there, but that even. It's amazing how embedded they were, and even though I wasn't thinking about them every day. So I think that was the biggest thing for me to go, I haven't thought about this moment for years, but obviously it was the first thing, and it was so clear in some of those sessions that we did. You take us through this journey, and it was amazing what would pop up. I go, why am I even thinking about this? Obviously it's there. And so now I feel like I've washed it out, which is good, because obviously it was there for a reason. You know, I wasn't making it up. It was my body telling me this is in here somewhere and you need to get rid of it. So,
and like you said, it was literally like, felt like it was clamping your throat down, so that you weren't actually able to get on and do with something that you really love to do, that your soul obviously wanted to express, you know, which for you was singing. So it manifests physically. And, you know, I mean, thanks for sharing that story, because I can't tell you how many clients I've had over the years who have said, you know, they've always wanted to sing, but they've put it off their whole life. And it's because that, you know, that one moment in choir where somebody just said something like, you're too loud, or, you know, somebody just making some kind of snide remark or a negative comment. And, you know, what happens is we take that moment in, and once that's, you know, that's in our body and we contract and freeze in that moment, it's stored there. And there's so many people just not expressing themselves because of all of these tiny moments in our lives. So I think it's really super important to be able to unblock those. And, you know, there'd be so many of those things in our life, but it's what comes up, you know. It's like you decided you had enough, you wanted to sing, and so it was time for that to be shifted. Would you agree?
oh, absolutely. And I felt like I was wasting something that I'd been given. And every day went on, and I was like, I just feel like I'm wasting it. I felt like, and so that's why I obviously I took the step to come to the conference, which is a big step in itself. And thank you to my friends who pushed me to go to that. I don't know where I would be if I didn't go, but yeah, it's just I got to a point where I was, getting older, and I was like, I don't want to waste this. I don't want to waste this talent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's an important point. It's my belief that we're all born with gifts and talents, and it's not even just about, music or singing. It could just be anything. And this the soul just keeps, I use the word kind of gnawing at us, until like we listen to it and say and go, are you going to finally, fulfill this dream, or share this gift or talent? And that's what keeps gnawing at us, and I think that's what causes a lot of stress and anxiety when we can't, we suppress those things within us, because I think they are, kind of god-given, gifts and talents and things. So would you agree that it's so important to honor whatever is calling and yearning inside of you?
Absolutely. And I mean, I know that us as humans, we always ask ourselves, what would you regret tomorrow? And so that definitely was gnawing at my brain about, I would really regret not doing something with this. But yeah, for me personally, the singing, it was such a calling. And it was literally, as I said, it was literally bubbling away in my body that if I didn't do this, and if I wasted this, and if I just would have had so much regret and just constant weight on my shoulders that I didn't do something with it.
And
Let it out.
Those unfulfilled desires or dreams we have, I think that's what keeps us feeling so heavy or so dissatisfied with life sometimes, or that feeling of unfulfillment, so I think that's really important, and that's great that you honored that, because you are a really wonderful singer.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's that's why that talent needed to come out, because there is a great voice inside of you, which ultimately that's not even what it's about. I mean, you don't even have to be, doing something so great, or have such an amazing gift or talent. It's just whatever is there, just get it out. And I know some of my, clients, just have stories they want to tell, or, like we just want to be able to have those one-on-one conversations with people, and feel like they are contributing, or being heard, like they're not afraid to express what they really want to say. So it could just be those really basic moments of that communication between people as well.
I think connecting as well, connecting with other singers, and that connection. I know we talk about connection quite a bit in our lessons, but that has been so nourishing, I think, to me, over the last few years, and just connecting with other musicians in any kind of shape or space. I think that has really been fantastic as well, and growing trust to be around other people again, and to that support. I mean, your community is so supportive. That has really helped, I think, the growth, and knowing that we've all got each other's backs. And that guy from that other school who told me I was terrible isn't in that community. It's really lovely.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point too, isn't it? It's about surrounding yourself with people and community that support your dreams. That, often in life, it's people, especially loved ones often, because they might be holding fear, or suppressing their own gifts and talents, or they think that life should be a certain way, that they then sort of impose those fears onto other people. And what I found really useful in my life was to stay really connected with people and communities that supported my dreams, that gave me, that kept me in a flow state with it, or to maintain momentum in a really positive way. And I think that is so important to following your soul's path. I think, the dream. Yeah. So would you mind sharing with us, you said that you realized you had some emotional blocks. Would you mind just sharing just what, some of those things that perhaps came up for you? And, I know that you said that, even at work, because you work in the arts, and even, you work behind the scenes as well. And, being able to show up with your team at work, if you could just speak to that and share a little bit about your story and journey on that side of things, because you said it didn't just help you, you know, professionally, but it's also helped you personally as well. So, do you want to share a little bit about what came up for you, as much as you would like to share, of course?
Yeah. And I think that was the biggest surprise. It was mentioned that I thought I was going into this course to become a singer, but actually I think became, hopefully, a better employee as well, and a better professional. So I think the biggest thing for me, I've always been confident and pushing my way to the front of the stage. I've also danced my entire life, so there's lots of videos out there, VHSs out there, with this little blonde person fighting their way to the front. And I think I had, for a long time, especially in my 20s, this persona that I would have. And I'll never forget it. A friend once said to me, which really clicked, she said, "Oh, was Fabulous Jade on tonight, or was she not?" And I thought, oh, I didn't realize other people could see what I was doing, which was trying to be on all the time. And so I think the biggest shift for me was that I thought being on and loud and confident and at the front of things was being strong. And I'm in quite a male dominated field. And so when I'm presenting, if I'm a bit sassy and fabulous and on, that was where my strength was coming from. And there was one class that completely shifted for me. And I think you said to me, you could stand silent and still be strong. And that was a real shift for me. And I feel like things have definitely changed from a day-to-day point of view there. I don't have to feel the silence, which is what I was absolutely doing at work.
Fearing silence.
And fearing silence and feeling it. Yeah, it's right. Feeling the silence. I'm here, I'm on, I'm ready, I'm ready to go. Yeah. Can everybody hear me? I know what I'm talking about, and like proving my point all the time and proving my worth. So that has definitely shifted for me.
And it's exhausting.
Oh, it's exhausting.
I think when you finally get that self-awareness and strip away how we're showing up, with in that type of way that we've just been conditioned to do all our lives. Like for you it was, like you said, you're not lacking confidence. If anything, you're pushing and projecting that confidence onto people to try to prove, your self-worth, or to prove, here I am, see me, hear me. And that's quite an exhausting process. And in actual fact, that diminishes your power, because people can feel that energetically. And I guess
was such a learning.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest learning tools for me was that, power is not projecting anything onto anybody. It's actually being able to really stand in your full presence and power in your being, in your body. And that's obviously the biggest part of what we teach, isn't it? It's like being able to let go of all of those masks, and strategies that we have, to be seen in this world, and to just show up and really be your authentic self. And that's, presence is the key to that, isn't it? It's like, just being able to be present, and through that stillness we find that inner presence and that embodiment. And so now when you're showing up in situations, like even at work, what are you noticing what are you noticing about yourself, and how people are responding to you?
I definitely think I'm not overcompensating anymore, which is the biggest change. And, having to, I'm going to use the word pivot, our favorite word of the last 18 months, but having to pivot, like I really feed off other people's energy, and I'm quite tactile. I'm tactile when I teach. I'm a tactile human. And to come into a space where everything's online, like I really had to change the way I fed off people's energy. So the course really helped me with that in a different environment. And I think, yeah, the overcompensation has been the biggest change. Like I'm not, as I said, feeling that silence all the time. I'm listening. I'm a better listener.
Mm.
And I'm just breathing through things a little bit more. I think that's how I can explain it. Like if I'm in a harder situation, or like I just speak when I think I should need to speak now. I don't overcompensate with all the bibble babble, if that makes sense. Just to say, oh, that I'm here. I'm here, I'm still here.
Yeah.
If you've got me, I'm still here. I'll just say something so you know I'm still here. What a waste of time.
Yeah. And it's like just being able to be in stillness and just know that your value and your power and your presence is still felt and still really important. And so which sort of brings me up to that point. I think what I've noticed in doing this work, on myself, and then what, that's my own personal growth, was what led to creating this work and this program, is most of us have some level of, lack of self-worth, or not really seeing or believing our own true value and showing up in that, but doing it in a way that is not ego driven. It's more coming from that true authentic self. So what I know, like for example, one of those things that you said very often is that you discovered that you had that perfectionist quality, which I share too. Unless I'm performing and singing and I'm absolutely perfect, it's just never good enough. Being able to strip that type of quality away, and just go, you know what, even if I'm not perfect, I'm still valuable, I'm still worthy, and that sort of thing. So is that what you experienced?
110%. I did reflect and have a look at my first intention from the first course, and it was around perfection. About so I had this image in my brain, or this vision, that if it wasn't perfect, I wasn't going to do it at all. Like it was, and I'm very black and white as well as a person, and I'm an extremist. So those, it's either here or here. Like I was never ever going to do it unless it was perfect. And that was also blocking me from moving forward with lots of stuff in my life, lots of things in my life, but especially the singing. And that has been completely smashed now. Wonderful. Like completely smashed. And it still creeps in sometimes when I'm about to perform, but I just use the tools that you've given us to just flush it out. Yeah. But yeah, I think, or things like, if I don't sound exactly like Lady Gaga or Idina Menzel or Bette Midler, then I'm not going to do it. And realizing that I can only sound like myself. I can't sound like those people.
Yeah.
So has been a real eye-opener as well, and helped me smash that idea of, well, things are never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I can't control everything. So,
yeah. And it is that idea of control, isn't it? It's like surrendering. Ultimately, it's surrendering control, and then just allowing the true essence of yourself to come through.
Absolutely.
And when that comes through, that is true power. That is true, expression. That's what I mean by being fully expressed. When you finally let down your guard, you finally let down your fears, you break, like you said, you sort of smash through those walls of emotional shutdown, and even physical shutdown and all those things. It's when we can actually show up in our true essence of who we are, that we are actually set free. And it's such a blessing to see the clients get to that point, but to see you get to that point. And I know it's still a journey for all of us, but to see how you have come through, and you're just showing up as this beautiful singer, with this beautiful voice, sharing it joyfully. It's not just about confidence, but it's just, oh, I'm sharing my gifts and talents with joy, and that's what brings us personal fulfillment and happiness. And I think that's some things that we're all kind of seeking. It's a universal thing. So thank you so much for sharing, you know, all of this wonderful information today, just to help people, you know, think about themselves perhaps, and think, what, you know, how am I stopping myself, or how am I keeping myself sort of shut down or playing small, and knowing that there's tools and programs that they can do to help them break through from that. What were some of the best tools that you experienced in the program that really helped you?
Oh, my light globe. So if you all do the course, you'll find out what the light globe is.
Yeah.
And being able to control energy, I think where my energy focus is, I think was definitely, and I even feel myself talking to colleagues and staff members and about energy focus. And I think just allowing some time to be a little bit selfish for myself, I think, was the biggest learning, because it's selfish work, and we're selfish in a good way. I think reflecting on things, and taking the time out and take time out to breathe and to write and to experience this with this fantastic community. I was think that another great tool for me is the meditation practice that you do. So we always talk about dropping in and really listening to our bodies, and I do that all the time now. It's just
Yeah.
subconsciously I'm just doing it before I sing, before I have to speak, before I have to go into a really hard conversation, to stop and to breathe. I never stopped. I never stopped.
Yeah.
And to listen to my body, like, oh, we've only got one body, right? So I feel like my body's changed quite a lot since we started this. So that drop in and to really feel where your energy is in your body is really, really has become an everyday practice for me. So that, I mean, that tool has been fantastic. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely where my energy is.
Yeah. And I think that's probably, you know, most of our practices are obviously focused on, okay, how do I show up now? Because I know, like for me, a lot of the workshops and retreats and things that I had done for many years were all about, you know, resolving a lot of unresolved issues in my life, and you know, breaking through some of those barriers. But then I got to a point where I went, well, what now? Like, how do I take all this good new energy and show up now in going present, you know, in the present moment, and also going forward, and you know, that's what this program focuses on. It's yes, we are dealing with stuff that might be in the way, but we're also having very clear tools to be able to just call on in a moment in everyday life, whether you're walking onto the stage, or, you know, walking into a room full of people, or you're just having a moment, you know, in with yourself, and to be able to use these practices to help you show up in a new way. And I think that's what most of us, you know, don't have the tools. I never had those tools, you know, and it wasn't until, you know, I learned them. So that's the passion for me. It's just being able to help people with really easy they're kind of easy, aren't they?
Oh, super easy. And
And not
I think,
difficult
oh,
practices.
not
Tools you
difficult,
can use every day.
not long, like you can do them every day, which is why I really like that. I mean, I'm a bit of a nerd. I like a bit of homework. I like to follow up on things. I like a to-do list, you know. It's so surprising. The perfectionist likes a to-do list. But I like having that on the to-do list every day. I like that I can, and I like that it doesn't take me 4 hours. And I think that was a learning in itself. You know, you think about meditation, you think, oh, I need a special room in my house that has cushions and candles and Kenny G playing, and I need 4 hours to do this. Like, that's what a lot of people think. It's not about that at all. It's really like, even if it's a 5 minute, it really just focuses you, and
Yeah.
the practice gets easier, and the practice gets, you know,
Yeah.
I think that's been the best thing.
Yeah. And I think it's being able to go, oh, this is not something that I do. Like I get still and presence in my own private time. This is about showing up in presence in any situation. And that's the most powerful thing I think anyone can learn. So, because
Yeah.
that's what helps us get to where we want, you know, and that's helps us form better connections with people. to live the life we want, to express ourselves as we want, and to attract into our life what we want. And so it's that presence which is really, really powerful, and is at the core of our program. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Oh,
It's so
thanks
great.
for
I
having
could chat
me
to you all
again.
day, Jade.
No, just, I can't express, and I say this in every opportunity, how helpful it's been, and I think doing it twice. I think watching all of us get different things out of it, like it is
Mm,
quite, it's fit for everybody. And so I've loved seeing, I mean, we recently connected with a group that we hadn't seen in a year, which was amazing, which I loved, and seeing how everyone had taken what they needed out of the course.
yeah.
So I think, sharing that it is for everybody, and you don't have to be just an extrovert or an introvert. It's for, so we've all plucked different things out
Yeah.
of the course.
And I think that's the thing. Like we may, like you said, I'm a confident person, but there's little pockets or areas of our life which are perhaps not flourishing, or a little bit shut down, or not fully expressed. And for everybody that comes into the program, they're able to discover what they are, and that's what's important. Like, we may think we know what's going on with our lives, but we discover those hidden things our blind spots that we can't see. And and this program is designed to, like you said, it's to help discover the parts of myself that are perhaps not flourishing, or need a little bit more
Yeah.
self-expression.
Even, I'd said to people, I'm doing a course called Awaken Your Voice. And some people said to me, what are you doing that for? Your voice is woken. It is there. But I think that's important in itself, is that, that yes, it is there, but that work that we did, and I loved that we were all different in both of those classes, and we continue. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. So I
Yeah.
can't express enough how thankful I am to you. And I've said that a million times over the past 2 years, but for the work that we've done and for the community support, it's been fantastic. And
Yeah.
I look forward to continuing.
Yes, thank you. And I can't express to you, I know I say this many times, of how much I value your input into Awaken Your Voice, and being so generous now to share this with people, as well. So thank you so much. And I get a lot, by connecting with you, and learn a lot from you too. So I really truly appreciate that. So thank you so much.
No, it's been so nice. I can't, yeah, so nice.